Okay. Back to all right. Welcome back to my part series, the week that was the college football's history and review. The 1960 college football season. A video ended prematurely, but I have no reasons obviously. But I will continue on where I left off. This is part two of the overview of the 1960 college football season. Then I'm gonna get into everything else, as far as like the milestones that took place, the winning streaks, the coaching changes, the AP poll for the preseason of 1960, and then get into week one of the games that were played in 1960 for week one. So as I continue on the overview of the 1960 college football season, two highly unsung teams of 1960, the Ivy League titleist Yale and national scoring champion New Mexico State, had the season's only unblemished marks, allowing each to be posted in the AP poll final top 20 for the fourth time since 1950. The AP net champion was beaten in a bowl game as Minnesota succumbed to Washington 17-7. The previously unimpressive Huskies, with Sherrod back under center, dominated the first half against the Gophers and never looked back in gaining a second straight Rose Bowl win. And Minnesota became the first two-loss national champion. Mississippi quietly battered its usual soft slate, ranking fifth nationally in points scored, with a per-game average of 26.6 points and fourth in points allowed with a 6.4 average. The Rebels' tie came against a so-so LSU team on October 29th and dropped them from number 2 to number 6 in the AP poll. As usual, Ole Miss schedule managed to miss any confrontations with the iron of the SEC. Alabama, Florida, Auburn, or Georgia still the Rebels edged Rice set 14-6 in the Sugar Bowl and claimed the Football Writers Association Grantland Rice Award. The Grantland Rice Award came from the only voting panel making a post-bowl selection, and thus its committee felt comfortable in bypassing bowl defeated Minnesota. The Southeastern Conference, a national powerhouse for years, bagged national championships with Tennessee 1951 and Auburn 1957, Louisiana State 1958, second place voting finishes with Georgia Tech in 1952, and Ole Miss in 1959-1960. Now, the league played great football for many years, and its fans continue to this day to be the most rabid of any in America. But the SEC had one weakness until it went into two divisions in the 90s that required full contact, intra-division, cross-division conference schedules. Until then, it was amazing how often league champions were able to fill their slates with tail enders and frequently meet few of the other tough teams in the league. A dark cloud drifted over the sport early in the season, but happily didn't stay long because Florida fullback John Macbeth was approached by gamblers to shave points in the Florida State game in late September. Macbeth was lauded for having diligently worked to foil the robbery attempt, but no sooner had Southeastern Conference and NCAA officials given no credence to assertions that fixing of college games was nationwide. Somewhat low-key publicity was given to a similar robbery offer to a substitute Oregon player before his game on the same day against Michigan. With few exceptions, college football has remained remarkably clear of potential game-fixing problems, but such scandal probably remains the greatest fear of administrators and the greatest peril to the sport's integrity. Milestones: Oklahoma State and Texas Tech began play as eligible members of Big 8 and Southwest Conference respectively. Wild card rule was liberalized to allow single substitute to enter a game at any time, even if game clock was running. Now let's look at the longest winning streaks entering the 1960 college football season. It was a tie for the 11-game winning streak entering the season between Bowling Green and defending champion Syracuse. And 8-game winning streak was a tie between Georgia and Wyoming. 8-game winning streak. Now the coaching changes that took place. Boston College had new coaches like Ernie Hefferly. California had new coach in Marv Levy. Florida had Ray Graves. Florida State had Bill Peterson. Illinois, Pete Elliott. Doug Weaver for Kansas State. Bill Weeks of New Mexico. John Steedman, Pennsylvania. John Bateman, Rutgers. John McKay, Southern California. George Macaris, Temple. Bill Hildebrand, Wake Forest. And Gene Coram, West Virginia. Now, preseason AP poll looked like this. Number 1, Syracuse. Number 2, Mississippi. Number 3, Washington. 4, Texas. And number 5, Illinois. Followed by Southern California at number 6. Number 7, Pittsburgh. Number 8, Michigan State. Number 9, Clemson. Number 10, Oklahoma. Texas Christian was number 11. Auburn, number 12. Georgia, number 13. Northwestern, number 14. Iowa, 15. Ohio State, 16. Notre Dame, 17. Tennessee, 18. And it was a tie for the 19th spot between Penn State and Arkansas. Now, the college football season started on September 16th, 1960. Now, this is overall September 17th, 1960. That was week 1. But the football season started the day before, September 16th, 1960, on a Friday, when Oregon State upset number 6 Southern California 14-0. Oregon State coach Tommy Prothero leaped right into new wild card rule, shuttling and play calls on every down while directing entire game plan from press box. The Beavers tailbacks Don Castle and Terry Baker each led touchdown drive at outset of first and second halves. Castle scored from 16-yard line in first quarter, and Baker hit 3 passes for 50 yards to set up fullback Chuck Marshall's 2-yard touchdown dive in the third quarter. Southern California 3-touchdown favorite went 65 yards to Beaver's 7-yard line in the second quarter, but quarterback Al Prukop lost fumble, one of 5 costly bobbles by the Trojans. So that's what it's about. Started with an upset. Oregon State upsetting USC, number 16 in the country, 14-0. Next, you had Navy beat Boston College 22-7. As Navy's Massachusetts hero, halfback Joe Bellino returned to home area to throw 64-yard touchdown pass to wingback John Pritchard at very early in the game, run for 3-yard score that put Middies ahead and stay in third quarter, and catch 32-yard touchdown from new quarterback Hal Spooner in the fourth quarter. Punter Bellino also helped Navy out of tough field position with quick kicks of 64, 50, and 51 yards and tacked on a 2-point run after his touchdown reception. Under new coach Ernie Hefferly, Boston College earned a 7-7 tie on 63-yard march in the middle of first quarter. Boston College quarterback John Amabile made 2 completions on drive, and Eagles scored on a 3-yard touchdown run by halfback Bob Perrault. Amabile was under considerable pass rush pressure all day. Center linebacker Frank Risted sacked him twice, and 3 other middies nailed him on pass drives. Next, Maryland beat West Virginia 31-8. This was the coaching debut of Gene Coram of West Virginia. Losers of 6 straight over 2 years was spoiled despite opening Mountaineers' drive that carried 54 yards. Maryland defensive end Gary Collins fell on West Virginia University halfback John Maris fumble at Maryland 13-yard line to start first quarter touchdown drive, and Collins ended it with a 19-yard touchdown catch from quarterback Nick Novak. Terrapins clicked on their first 7 passes, a few touchdown drives of 87, 85 yards, opening 2 possessions. Sub quarterback Dale Betty sparked 2-second drive for 14-0 Terps lead. Midway in the second quarter, Mountaineers quarterback Dale Trigger Evans hit 2 passes and ran 12 yards to the Terps' 8-yard line to position fullback Bob Binky's 3-yard bounce off pile run around right in. So Evans flipped 2-point pass to halfback Eli Kasanovich, nursing 17-8 lead throughout third quarter. Maryland refired its offense on center linebacker Dave Crossner's fumble recovery and scored 2 touchdowns and fourth quarter on runs by fullback Pat Draz and quarterback Betty. Next, North Carolina State beat Virginia Tech 29-14. Next, there was another upset as number 13 Georgia lost to Alabama 21-6. When game tackling wasn't obliterating Georgia backs, who were able to gain only 67 yards on 34 carries, Alabama blockers like Tommy Brooker, guard Jerry Neighbors, and tackle Bobby Boyston were knocking Bulldogs around Crimson's Tide's backyard, gaining 272 yards on ground with 168-pound fullback Billy Richardson serving as a leader with 102 yards. Crimson Tide mounted 3 scoring surges within 9-minute span of second quarter. They went 89, 52, and 75 yards to touchdowns. That included 2 scoring runs by quarterback Bobby Skelton. It meant Alabama, improving swiftly in its second year under coach Bear Bryant, had scored its most points in single game in the last 2 years. So University of Georgia avoided being blanked when sophomore defensive back Billy Jackson roared 78 yards with a punt return to Bama 3-yard line in the final minute. Bulldogs quarterback Fran Tarkenton then tossed touchdown pass to halfback Dan Davis, being levied 115 yards in penalties, clearly hurt cause of the Bulldogs. Georgia Tech defeated Kentucky 23-13. Louisiana State defeated Texas A&M 9-0. Scoreless first half saw each team barely budge others' defense. The LSU halfback punter Jerry Stovall began punting duel versus Texas A&M halfback punter George Babe Craig. Aggies mounted mild peril to Tigers in first quarter by advancing to 19-yard line, but defensive back Andy Bourgeois made interception of A&M quarterback Powell Berry. Aggies halfback Randy Sims was spectacular 65-yard punt return in the third quarter, but Stovall, last available tackler, fended off A&M blocker center Larry Brodus to make saving stop at LSU 19-yard line. Berry ran for the first down at 8-yard line, but 2 plays later he suffered interception by LSU defensive back Wendell Harris, who returned to 30-yard line. So the Bengals and Gene Sykes pressured Craig into short punt, and LSU went 28 yards to Harris. 1-yard touchdown, and Harris added 32-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. Next, another upset took place the first week of the 1960 season, where number 11 Texas Christian lost to Kansas 21-7. Jayhawks on their second possession sent quarterback John Hadle on simple sneak over left guard. Hadle slipped out of grasp of Texas Christian guard Ray Pena and raced for a 52-yard touchdown. On Kansas' next possession, agile halfback Burt Cohen, who had 69 yards and a touchdown and 8 carries, transferred from TCU, went over right guard, jumped cat-like over tackler on a 26-yard run to the 4-yard line to set up his own 1-yard touchdown run and 14-0 first quarter lead. Horned Frogs drew within 14-7 in the fourth quarter when Giant 6'7" sophomore quarterback Sonny Gibbs contributed 23 yards rushing on 4 carries on a 12-play, 61-yard drive that started in third quarter was capped by a 3-yard touchdown run by little halfback Harry Moreland. TCU may have felt it was back in game, but swift Jayhawkers defense, led by defensive back Roger McFarland, tackles Dick Davis and Stan Kirschman, and center linebacker Fred Hageman, prevented any further penetration of its own field. Hadle rolled left to pass in fourth quarter, pulled down ball, and barreled over 3 tacklers inside the 5-yard line on a 16-yard touchdown sprint. And it was Kansas' first win since 1952 over frequent Southwest Conference foe TCU, which still led the series at the time 12-3. Next, we got Missouri shutting out Southern Methodist 20-0 in its first season opening victory since 1947. Missouri used its vicious defense led by ends Daniel Rose and Conrad Hitchler to hold young Mustangs to 39 yards rushing. Each Tigers touchdown came after their aggressive defense forced SMU into error, including most vividly halfback defensive back Donnie Smith's 22-yard field goal interception touchdown return as the Roses' stabbing tackle on halfback Doyce Walker's running pass forced poor throw. Mizzou's other scores came in the first quarter after defensive back Skip Snyder's interception return to SMU 27-yard line and center linebacker Bill McCartney's fumble recovery at 12-yard line in third quarter. Tigers scorers were fullback Ed Murrah on a 1-yard run in first quarter and halfback Mel West on an 8-yard dash in third quarter. Mustangs enjoyed late offensive flurry when benches were cleared of subs on both sides. So sophomore quarterback Bobby Reed's frantic passes brought SMU from its 23-yard line to the Tigers' 24-yard line, but Mustangs' threat fell. This game marked the end of an intersectional series led by SMU at 13-4-1 that had gone unbroken since 1945. Another upset took place with number 4 Texas lost to Nebraska 14-13 as Nebraska quarterback Pat Fisher, future undersized defensive back star in the NFL, had been converted from halfback since 1959 and turned out to be superbly clever quarterback in his new role. Cornhuskers came from behind on Fisher's long and short touchdowns in middle quarters to upset number 4 Texas. Fisher used dandy blocking to sprint 76 yards on punt touchdown return when second quarter was 3 minutes old. Bad snap helped ruin kicker Ron Mead's conversion kick attempt. The Longhorns, 2 touchdown favorites coming in, got touchdown runs from quarterback Mike Cotton in first and fourth quarter and outgained Huskers 262 yards to 153 yards. Game swung on each team's 2-point try in second half. Fisher sprung up from his kick holder position and clicked on a 2-point pass to fullback Bill Thornton that provided 14-7 lead in third quarter. Texas failed on a 2-point try when Cotton was slammed back at 1-yard line on his running wedge at left tackle. Longhorns rolled Cotton's 5 and 30-yard passes to Nebraska's 17-yard line, but kicker Ray Barton's 33-yard field goal try fell short with 30 seconds left. Number 19 Arkansas shut out Oklahoma State 9-0. Big 8 Conference won 3 of 4 on this Saturday from Southwest Conference, but Arkansas upheld Southwest Conference honor when defensive back Lance Allworth was brilliant all-around performer for the Razorbacks. Punter Allworth's 60-yard punt inside the Oklahoma State 1-yard line was foolishly returned by halfback Jim Dillard, but was swarmed over at goal line for safety by a horde of Hogs, led by ends James Gaston and Les Singer. Barely more than a minute later, Allworth slipped behind Cowboys defensive back John Mazur to haul in perfect 42-yard touchdown pass from Arkansas quarterback George McKinney. Allworth made saving tackle in third quarter as Oklahoma State defensive back Lonnie Buckner collared McKinney's pass at Cowboys' 28-yard line and maneuvered into clear field. Allworth saved touchdown with his stop. Hokies lost another scoring chance in third quarter when fullback Billy Joe Moody fumbled at Oklahoma State University 2-yard line, but it's offset Cowboy folks. Quarterback Ron Holiday's failed 4th and 2 sneak at Arkansas 5-yard line in the fourth quarter. Number 2 Mississippi beat Houston 42-0. Cougars line 13 pounds per man heavier than SEC visitors. Forwards threw up stiff run defense and held number 2 Ole Miss to only 21 yards rushing in the first half, but the resourceful Rebels quarterback Jack Gibbs provided 7-0 halftime lead at halftime late in the second quarter with a 22-yard touchdown pass to fullback James Anderson. Mississippi moved 80 yards after second half kickoff and Gibbs flipped 5-yard score to halfback George Blair. Backup quarterback Doug Elmore threw 28 9-yard touchdowns to end Woody Dabbs. When the dust had cleared, the Ole Miss had 6 touchdown passes, 3 thrown by Gibbs. Outclassed Houston offense could advance no farther than the Rebels' 24, 35-yard lines. And finally, another upset took place in Week 1 of the 1960 college football season where number 7 Pittsburgh lost to UCLA 8-7. The favorite Panthers took opening kickoff to fullback Jim Cunningham's touchdown plunge. In the fourth quarter, UCLA sophomore tailback Ezell Singleton sparked listless Bruins, taking them from own 20-yard line to Pitt 22-yard line. Defensive end Mike Dicker stopped Singleton on 4th down, but punter Dicker could punt back only 24 yards. Starting near midfield, tailback Billy Kilmer passed UCLA into range, then went to bench as Singleton scored on a 4-yard run. Kilmer re-entered game as wild card sub to tally winning touchdown, 2-point run. Strong leg Pittsburgh halfback kicker Fred Cox was short with 48-yard field goal. Try at end. So that concludes a look at, week 1 of the 1960 college football season, September 16th, 1960, and September 17th, 1960. And hopefully you enjoyed that. This is part 2 of the overview of the 1960 college football season, talking about what took place first and went over everything else. The coach changed the AP poll, the milestones, and week 1 of the 1960 college football season, September 17th. When again, it was played on September 16th, 1960. Was all about week 1, September 17th, 1960. So let's look at the AP poll. Mississippi was number 1, followed by number 2, Syracuse, number 3, Washington, number 4, Illinois, number 5, Alabama. Michigan State was number 6. Number 7 was Kansas. Number 8 was UCLA. Number 9, Clemson. Number 10, Oregon State. So the top 10 for September 19th, the AP poll had Mississippi at number 1. Number 2, Syracuse. Number 3, Washington. Number 4, Illinois. Number 5, Alabama. Number 6, Michigan State. Number 7, Kansas. Number 8, UCLA. Number 9, Clemson. Number 10, Oregon State. Number 11, Penn State. Number 12, Nebraska. Number 13, Georgia Tech. Number 14, Northwestern. Number 15, Texas. Number 16, Missouri. Number 17, Pittsburgh. Number 18, Louisiana State. And number 19, Iowa. And finally, number 20, Ohio State. So that concludes a look at what took place for week 1 of the college football season for 1960, September 17th, 1960, including again that was played on Friday, September 16th, 1960. So please subscribe and like and comment on the channel. I'll do a video of this magnitude tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed everything that I talked about with this video about the 1960 college football season. I'm in a new season right now. So support, like, comment, subscribe. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.